Have you ever considered making a book with all of your images, Mark?
That's my dream.
Okay.
That's the dream.
Let's see how
So
we can help you
I'll
with that,
hopefully make a
because I
lot of
think
books.
just looking through these, you have so many incredible stories and memories and pieces to this. Like, I think it'd be insanely well received, so that'd be really
Well, yeah,
cool.
that's my that's my point. So when you guys see the
Yeah.
book, you'll go, God, he got it, he nailed it. So
Yeah.
yeah, book, I'd love to.
So why do you think there's so many successful photographers that start out shooting skate? What is it that kind of like brings that about when you look at it? And I have a story of that after. So why don't you go ahead?
Yeah. Well, I think just skating in general, and that's been, even with sitting there on the other side, and I like going. I meet a lot of these art
Hmm.
directors and clients, and a lot of them have
Hmm.
been in skating. So skating does have a very artistic. It has a very artistic style
Hmm.
person that needs to be in that sport.
Yeah.
And so generally that's the thing with the guys that come out of skating,
Mm.
Spike, you have everyone, you just have this huge, Atiba, where
Yeah.
you have a certain creativity, but again you have a certain kind of edge because you're like, fuck this, and
Yeah.
a lot of times you're being chased out of every setting you're in, you're getting
Mm.
robbed, you're getting shot,
Mm.
I mean, it's nuts, cops are chasing, so you're in this different world, and you kind of got to be a little bit roughed up and a bit tough. And so then again, when you start, you come from that world, and again, there's not a lot of money, and it's
Yeah.
just this rough thing. And then when you start getting a lot of people, like for me, I had a great time with Adidas, and again, they came after me in looking of a skate photographer and wanting that edge, because they
Gotcha.
wanted that edge of what they represent. But
Wow.
again, I
Makes
think in
sense.
that it is that timing, and
Mm.
it is kind of that thing of that connection with people, and just kind of that, again, like I look at a guy like a T-Bin, you're like, here's a guy that shoots for everyone from every skater in the
Mm.
world every day, to then he's
Hmm.
shooting Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
Yeah.
and I think it's that same thing, the way he
Yeah.
carries himself, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like back
It's
in the
great.
day, it was like that would be like, rock star photographer kind of thing,
Yeah.
and then now it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
they come to that world.
Absolutely. I have an interesting story. So when I first started shooting with Transworld Surf Magazine many years ago, Pete Tara's was the photo editor then, and he saw what I was doing, was encouraging, very helpful. He's like, "Hey Zach, I'm sending you something." Sent me a stack of skate magazines, and he goes,
Yeah, yeah,
"Look at this. Work on your portraits and lifestyles. Follow what these guys are doing with their
yeah,
lighting and their things." And forever
yeah,
that stuck with me, because now I look at the skate ones and the use of like their strobes, their lights, even
yeah,
their portraits,
yeah,
having that on the moment.
yeah,
I've really tried to like hone and look at some of those things. And I agree.
yeah,
They
yeah,
come from that edgier, great look, but
yeah,
they're very adventurous
yeah,
with the way they're shooting, and they've been very
yeah,
successful with it. So yeah,
yeah,
it's a very
and
admirable art.
creative with
Yeah.
angles, and like
Yeah.
Ryan Allen's another really great photographer, and same thing, just has
Hmm.
that where you're looking and you're going, oh my god, you just know how to compose a
Yeah.
photo beautifully, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you know it's
Well, it's
yeah,
about
it's a
where they're
cool.
shooting. It's all about
Yeah,
location. Many times with
yeah,
surf, you're stuck shooting tight
yeah,
on like the action and the
yeah,
power, and like there are the
yeah,
beautiful like ones showing like the
yeah,
setting, but a lot of times with skate,
yeah,
it's like, where are you? What are the structures
yeah,
around in the settings
yeah,
and the
yeah,
landmarks or focus points? And to
yeah,
me,
yeah,
that puts me there more. It puts me there
yeah,
more than
but
just
it's and it
tight on the
yeah,
board.
yeah, but
You
it's
know?
also,
Yeah.
in the realms of like where I'm from and where you're from,
Hmm.
you're in the water,
Hmm.
and where you've got to be at that point is a is a battle,
Yes.
where I
Yes.
I walk around, I can walk up to my subject after every run and walk right back to where I'm at, and same thing,
Hmm.
talking to me, it's okay
Hmm.
dude, you got this, and the
Yeah.
same point, you're
Yeah.
in their face shooting portraits,
Right.
where for you that's a whole other point of what
Right.
you have to do for
Right.
your main action is, I'm getting in the water and
Absolutely.
I'm getting that shot, which is
Yeah.
like, oh my god, how did you get that shot? Same, like I shot
Yeah.
my first time in the water, my whole career shooting, and I went and I had to shoot Roxy stuff in and it was Cassie
Mm.
Medward, the
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
had to shoot her at in Queens, and I had to swim out there, and I'm like, oh my god! And I bodysurfed my whole life, but it's like, yeah, trying to get that action in that spot, and it's like I say, it's all these things to build into to be someone good at what you do, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Chris Moore, not Cassie Meadow.
Chris. Okay, close. It was close.
My brain. I'm old. Yeah.
No, we got 2 more questions, guys. So thanks for sticking in with us. So, how do you get through a creative block, Oblow? What do you do as you kind of see? I mean, you're doing artwork, photography, everything in between, designing, directing, doing all these types of things. How do you overcome a creative block?
So, I do that by doing all those different things. So one day I feel a certain way, I'll work on photos. Then if I'm not this way, I'll do that. And it is because that's also truly a thing, is staying disciplined in working that way. Yeah. Before, when I didn't, I'd have the most creative mood swings like we all do, and I'd go into whatever that mood was. So now it's like, okay, produce. If you're not doing here, go here. So if you're not doing that, then work. So in one way or another, I'll find something that I can do. And then that's kind of where if I'm doing something every day,
it moves you. Yeah, absolutely. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, like just getting out and immersing yourself in it.
The more you can do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And staying at your traits, you know, because you also gotta, you know, you
gotta challenge yourself. I feel too. You know what I mean? Because if we become complacent, that's where you lose the inspirations and things. What I've been doing is challenging myself with weird lenses in normal situations or different things, and trying to think outside of the box to see these different like visions and things, and how can I shoot it where, like, I almost like I love baffling my dad. I love going to go shoot with something like this, and then I show him and he's like, well, why? I mean, it works and it's amazing, but like why, you know? And so that's when I'm like, yes, I got him. Like, that's what I love doing.
Well, and that is something I love about you, is every time I see you, you're shooting different stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you'll shoot, and that's what I also do too. Yeah. You'll use multiple systems.
We have to.
And that's what's
we have to, as creatives, we have to challenge ourselves to keep that creativity. You guys, like, get out there and shoot, and you see, and you're like, well, but I live in the city and there's so much to shoot everywhere. Get out there and shoot and challenge yourself. Yeah.
If you bring another photographer, another videographer into your home neighborhood, and you walk around the block and you look what they do, they're going to shoot all those photos that you're shooting in theirs. It's just, again, it's a way of looking at things and and disconnecting and reconnecting. And then same thing, like for me, huge thing.
Yes.
My photos are documentations before they're these perfected. It's like, no, just shoot. And that's a beauty. You could shoot a photo and it could be the worst photo ever.
Yes.
10 years later, it's the best photo in the world. You know, so it's like, relax, have fun. That's why don't judge yourself too hard and just keep it moving, bro.
Absolutely. Last question. Who influenced you growing up, personally and professionally? You've had an amazing long career, many more to come, and much more. Tell us who inspired you growing up.
For me at first it was Kevin Thatcher of Thrasher Magazine and Bryce Kanights. Those guys really helped me out a lot. Kevin Thatcher helped me with allowing me to shoot over his shoulder, and that was during all the wallows and the crazy Thrasher during the 80s. That's why I have the same photos, which again, and I think, and it's always one of those things, Zach, to allow a little kid to sit over your shoulder and shoot what you're shooting, and it's going to be a magazine cover, is a huge big up to a mentor. And so that was one. And then the next was Bryce Kanights. And because Bryce was a skater as a professional and also a pro or a photographer. That's what I was under. I was in that realm of like, do I surf? Do I skate? Do I shoot photos? What do I do? And it was like, I had to value and tick my time. And then with skating, Nadas Coppice and Mark Gonzalez were huge influences for me with art and in my world. And then that was the thing. Nadas was a big, big part of it. He was with me at Quiksilver. We did a shoe company together called Vita. Like, we had a long relationship, which was, again, both helping each other out and influencing and pushing. But he as a photographer, as an artist, he just kind of had that. And then again, in the skate industry, it was like being amongst all these really creative people that you're like, Spike and all these other people, and, then going in the same world. And getting in the surfboard and working with guys like Sonny Miller and, you know, guys like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's same a lot of the water dudes. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. And same working with you. It's like you
Yeah.
say, the circle coming around, but
It's just been rad.
I mean, it's such an admiring thing. So
Thank you.
that's what's great about this stuff is
never not inspired.
You never know.
Around you and these people that keep pushing it and doing it. And I think that's what's amazing is being comfortable with your craft and looking to these inspirations. And, you know, it's not a jealousy thing. It's how do you keep growing yourself? How do you keep expanding your creativity and what you're building and keep going? So
and it's,
absolutely.
you know, ask questions and look for help, support your local photography stores. Like in Hawaii, we have Treehouse. And and it's a great thing because you can go into a shop like that, and again, you can ask questions about cameras, you can ask questions about film, you can open a whole other world. And a lot of those people, especially like I say, I pouch Treehouse a lot, but they're so knowledgeable. And once again, I go in there every time and I buy a new camera or I find a new, you know, new little thing to do. So again, you know, ask questions, don't be too shy, and you know,
absolutely
enjoy.
Well, Mark, with that, thank you so much for joining us today for Between Sets, and we're stoked to have you here. That was really epic, dude.
Stoked. Right on, brother.
And everyone else.
Thank you, Canon. Thanks all the sponsors.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Ruka, UAG, Canon, everyone for having us here today. And thank you, all of you, for tuning in and looking forward to seeing you guys next week. So thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, big ups.
Take care. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Between Sets. Make sure to like and subscribe to be tuned in on all future episodes. Thank you.